शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां 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 शारदे पाहि मां शङ्कर रक्ष मां
Namaste. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sharada Sharadhamboja Vadana Vadanambuje Sarvada Sarvada Asmakam Sannidham Kriyad. Bharati Karnapatram Bharati Vadabhushanam Bharati Vadamarudam Bharati Tithamashye. Vidya Vinaya Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvaknim Vidushekara Bharati. Sadguru Sharanarvindambyam Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you for coming. Today we have a special lecture series starting. I would like to have Dr. Jambunathan please introduce the lecture series and our speaker. Thank you.
Namaskaram to everybody. Jai Jai Shankara, Harara Shankara. Welcome Pranav and all the devotees who are joining for our program, the Vande Vidya Shankaram. Vande Vidya Shankaram is just for people who are joining us new, is a lecture series which we started in May 2021, almost three and a half years ago now. during after Shankara Jayanti celebrations. And the Vande Vidya Shankaram, the name is coined after Vidya Shankar, which is the name of the Shiva in the Sringeri Mutt, and which was established by Vidya Ranya Guru several centuries ago. And the term Vidya Shankaram also means Shankara who educates us. So the Vande Vidya Shankaram, we used our philosophy as Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Shruti, Smruti, and Puranas were the, Adi Shankara propagated several of the studies, but most of his focus was on Shruti, Smruti, and Puranas. And so we are trying to educate ourselves and others on the same lines. Shruti, though we are not covering the entire Vedas, but at least the Vedanta part, the Smrutis by Dharma Shastra, Nyaya Shastras, and the Puranas, we do our coverage of Puranas. We don't go through individual Puranas, but at least through slokas, which the way our acharyas have condensed the Puranas and the Bhakti part of that. And so the Karma, Yoga, and the Karmas are covered by the Smrutis, the Bhakti is covered by the Puranas, and the Jnana is covered by the Vedanta part. So the Karma, Bhakti, Jnana also are covered by the Shruti, Smruti, Purana. So that was the intent, and we are very glad that Pranav is able to join us. We finished a series on Lalita Sahasranamam, and so we already have lectures going on Shruti and the Smruti part, and we are very glad and happy to welcome Pranav to continue our series on this teaching both the Bhakti and the Jnana part using the various Stotras, which was composed by Adi Shankara and his followers, and also the Bhashyas which Adi Shankara has written on other Stotras also. So with that introduction, about our series, I welcome Pranav, and most of you are well aware of Pranav. And is Ram here, Somaji, to talk about Pranav, or?
No, you can talk. Otherwise, I can introduce Pranav.
Okay, well, I think we got introduced to Pranav recently through one of our lecture in our SVBF North, and we had a talk with him before the lecture. But I think Somaji probably would be a better person to introduce Pranav. He knows more about Pranav. I got introduced to Pranav very recently, but our Somasundarji knows him a little longer than me. So Soma, I do welcome you to introduce Pranav and then get it going.
Thank you, Dr. Jambunathan. I think it's a pleasure for me to introduce Pranav. Just before introduction, this is the normal format we have been following for the last 3.5 years. We'll start with a small introduction, and then the speaker will be introduced for the first time because he's starting the series. Next time onwards, we'll directly go into the discussion with Pranav. Will start the lectures after the introductory song. Again, Veda Brahmachari Sri Pranav Ganapati is a direct disciple of Mahapadhyaya Veda Bhashya Ratnam, Mulai Vasal Dr. R. Krishnamurti Sastri. Before that, he was a student of Dharmatma, Dr. S. Subramanian. He's the chairman of SVBF for us. He then underwent rigorous Veda and Shastra training under the topmost prominent Aitagnis of India. A childhood prodigy, he memorized the entire Bhagavad Gita in Anuloma and Viloma, that is forwards and reverse, and received recognition from SVBF USA and Sringeri Sharada Peetham in India. He is also the first person born and brought up in US, which is outside India, to complete the study of the Vedas. That is 2 of those Vedas, Rig and Yajur, and also in the Gana, all up to the Gana style. He has a special interest in Veda Bhashya, Sharanga, Tarka, Mimamsa, and Vedanta. And as an authority in Prayoga, Shrauta, it's a pleasure for me to welcome. He gives a lot of upanyasams, and it's a pleasure for me to welcome Pranav to this. Just as it's also a pleasure in 2 ways. One is the next generation who's born and brought up here with this interest of Hinduism is a very big place for us. And being a series in Sanatana Dharma, it's a pleasure for us to see how we can take it and increase the interest among the youth. Just as an FYI, he's also got a bachelor's in computer engineering from UT Austin and a master's in computer science from Georgia Tech. So he has also done both sides of that. And so it's a pleasure for me to introduce Pranav. Pranav, take it away.
Namaskar. Om Namo Mahadbhyo Namo Arbhakebhyo Namo Yuvabhyo Nama Shinebhyaha Yajaamadevan Yadi Shaknava Mamajaya Sasham Samavrikshideva Shrutismritipurana Namalayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram प्रह्लादवरदो देवो यो नृसिंहः परो हरिः नृसिंहोपासकं नित्यन्तं नृसिंहगुरुं भजे श्रीसच्चिदानन्दशिवाभिनव्यनृसिंहभारत्यभिधान्यतीन्द्रान् विद्यानिधीन् मन्त्रनिधीन् सदात्मनिष्ठान् भजे मानवशम्भुरूपान् सदात्मध्याननिरतं विषगेभ्यः पराङ्मुखं नौमि शास्त्रेषु निष्णातं चन्द्रशेखरभारतीं विवेकिनं महाप्रज्ञं धैर्यौधार्यक्षमानिधिं सदाभिनवपूर्वन्तं विद्यातीर्थगुरुं भजे अज्ञानाञ्जाह्नवीतीर्थं विद्यातीर्थं विवेकिनां सर्वेषां सुखदं तीर्थं भारतीतीर्थमाश्रये विद्याविनयसम्पन्नं वीतरागं विवेकिनं वन्दे वेदान्ततत्त्वज्ञं विधुशेखरभारतीम् जगद्गुरून् प्रणम्य विद्यागुरून् पितरौ च प्रणम्य अद्य महागणपति पञ्चरत्नविषये किञ्चित् वक्ष्यामि. Thank you for the introduction, Somaji. Today we were going to cover the Mahaganesha Pancharatnam written by Adi Shankara, and then if time permits also we will start the Sopana Panchakam. So Adi Shankara had avatara many centuries back and set up the Amnaya Bhitas for the protection of Sanatana Dharma. In ensuring that, he wrote multiple different types of works. They can be broadly split into three. One are the Bhashya Granthas, the Prakarana Granthas, and the Stotra Granthas. So the Bhashya Granthas, they include the Prasthanatrayi Bhashya, the Bhashya for the Bhagavad Gita, the 10 Upanishads, and the Brahma Sutra. They also include Bhashyas for Vishnu Sahasranam, Lalita Sahasranam, Lalita Drishati, etc. In the Prakarana Granthas, we see mantras, we see granthas such as Viveka Chudamani, Aparokshana Bhudi, Upadesha Sahasri, like those Prakarana Granthas, which we study before the Prasthanatraya to get an introduction to Vedanta. And we see lots of Stotra Granthas like Ganesha Pancharatnam, Ganesha Bhujangam, Subramanya Bhujangam, Devi Bhujangam, so many Stotra Granthas as well. So in the normal krama, actually, we'll start with the Stotra Granthas and then move on to the Prakarana Granthas and then finally finish off with the Bhashya Granthas in terms of complexity. So since Ganesha, it's a good starting to pray for the Nirvighna Parisamapya of this series. We will start off with Ganesha Pancharatnam, which comes under the Stotra Granthas, as I mentioned. And we will continue next with Sopana Panchakam. The main series, the topic will be in the Bhashya, Vishnu Sahasranam Bhashyam. So there we will cover every Pratinama of Vishnu Sahasranam with the Bhashya of what Adi Shankara has written. So in these three, we will get the three categories, the Stotra Grantha, Prakarana Grantha, and Bhashya Granthas covered. First, we will start off with the chanting of the first sloka of Ganesha Pancharatna. It goes, मुदाकरात्तमोदकं सदा विमुक्तिसाधकं कलाधरावतं सकं विलासिलोकरक्षकम् अनायकैकनायकं विनातिशयभदैत्यकं नताशुभाशुनाशकं नमामि तं विनायकम्. The meter for this is called Panchachamaram. Chamaram refers to the fan, the manual fan that we see when we give upachara to the deities and everything. That chamara is being referred here. Pancha chamaram, because we see that the letters are arranged in a way that is short, long, short, long, short, long. So muda, kararta, modakam. When you see like that, it's one short syllable followed by a long syllable. So when we see that, it is like how we fan the deity in the upacharas. So that is where the meter Panchachamaram gets the name. So this entire stotra is in that format. So it's called Pancharatnam because there are 5 shlokas, each shloka being a ratnam, followed by the sixth shloka, which is the Phalashruti. So normally in any grantha, we need a Phalashruti to see why we want to read it. Because the Nyaya Shastra says, na kuryat nishpalam karma. So don't do any activity that does not have a phala. So in Vishnu Sahasranam, we see from Ititam Kirtaneyasya, we have the Phalashruti. Like that, Adi Shankara himself writes a Phalashruti as part of the 6th shloka. So here we will go over the Pratipada or every word's artha in this grantha. First, we can look at the first stanza. Mudakarattamodakam sada vibhukti sadhakam. Muda here referring to happiness. With happiness. Kara meaning in the hand. Atta, he is holding, he is grasping the modakam. Muda karatta modakam. And then next what we see, Sada Vimukti Sadhakam. Sada means Nirantaram, always. Sada Vimukti Sadhakam. He is the sadhaka for Vimukti. He is the one that fulfills Vimukti. So even in the Stotra Granthas itself, he is bringing the Atma Tattva that we see in the Bhashya Granthas. So even in the beginning itself, he gives the phala right away. What is this? Is Vimukti Sadhakam. This Ganesha, by worshipping Ganesha, it's a sadhana for Vimukti. So we are the sadhakas. The sadhyam is moksham, and the sadhanam is this stotra. So here, in the word modaka itself, it can mean the modaka, the sweet that we all know, or it can also come from the root modam karoti iti modakaha, mean one that bestows happiness is modaka. So modam means happiness, and he is holding the modaka with happiness because it gives him happiness, and that happiness is transferred to the devotees by the worship of Ganesha. And the Ganesha is also the means of achieving moksha. No matter what stotras and everything we do, this can only lead to chitta shuddhi. But after this chitta shuddhi, that is becomes a karana for moksha. So even in the beginning itself, when we are just starting with the stotra granthas, the end goal of moksha is already introduced here. So mukti just means moksha, which is liberation from the jarana marana cycle. And Adi Shankara has introduced this concept here already. So we are known to the four purusharthas, which are dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. So the moksha is the final purushartha, and he will give that to us when we pray intensely. If you look at the next one, we see Kaladhara Vatam Sakam Vilasiloka Rakshakam. Kaladhara is referring to the Shiva. Shiva, Kala meaning the moon. Dhara means one who that is bearing. Avatam Sakam means on the head. So who is that? That is Chandrasekhara or Shashidhara. So this Kaladhara Vatam Sakam is referring to Shiva. And then we see Vilasi Loka Rakshakam. And he is supporting the entire universe without any effort. Vilasi. Vilasi means Saralataya. It means without any effort. He is supporting the entire universe, being the son of Shiva. So he is the, we know Chandrasekhara, Chandradhara, Chandrakala. So he, that is Shiva, he is the son of that, and he is the supporting the entire universe. Vilasi Loka Rakshakam, without any effort. Vilasi. We see that Chandra is the Karaka for Manas. We see in Shruti itself, Chandrama Manaso Jataha. So by referring to Chandra, it is not just referring literally, but also figuratively, in that Chandra is the one that gives us a good manas. So by praying to Ganapati, we get that phala itself. Normally, when we pray to all the grahas, we don't pray directly to the graha. We pray to that devata that is supporting that graha. Like that, here, by worshipping the sun of who has the moon on its forehead, we are also getting the phala, which is a good manas. Even Chamakam, we say Matishchame, Sumatishchame. May I have a good mind and good mind. So this is also alluding to that. The next we see Anayakaika Nayakam Vinashite Bhadaityakam. Anayaka means it can mean humans. Anyone that does not have a Nayaka is a Nayaka. Ekanayakam. He is the Ekanayaka, or he is the single head of all the Anayakas. Meaning Anayakanam Nayakaha is Anayakaika Nayaka, Ekanayaka. So he is the Nayaka of all the humans. So he is the only refuge that all the humans here have. So Anayaka, it can also mean orphan. So that is also the context, that is the Bhakti Marga that we are showing here. And next what he is saying, Vinashita Ibha Daityakam. So here there can be two meanings. Vinashita means one that killed. Ibha means Gaja. Daityakam means the Asuras. So it can mean one that killed the Gajasura, literally, or figuratively it can mean the one that killed the ahankara, that is in the gaja format. So we see in Niti Shatakam by Bhartrihari, Yada kinchignoham dvipa iva madandas samabhavan. So whenever we know such a little, we get that ahankaram like a dvipa, meaning also the same as ibha. This ibha, dvipa, kunjara, kari, hasti, these are all synonyms for gaja. So it can mean the one Ganesha that killed the Gajamukhasura, or it can mean the one that figuratively is the one that destroyed our arrogance, or that form of when we say ibha. Daityakam, meaning we have two Diti and Aditi. So the children of Aditi became the Devas, and the son of Ditis became the Asuras. So by Gaja Asura, you can also get that also. Or it can also mean that Asuri Bhava. In Bhagavad Gita, we see so many Devi Sampat, Asuri Sampat. So like Kama, Krodha, these are all follow under Asuri Sampat. So that can be the figurative artha we can take here. Next we see Nata Shubhashunashakam Namamitam Vinayakam. Nata means to those who worship. Ashubha Ashunashakam. Ashubha meaning inauspiciousness. Ashu meaning at that second, quickly, immediately. Nashakam means the one that destroys. So whoever worships Ganesha, their Ashubhas get destroyed immediately. Nata Shubhashunashakam Namamitam Vinayakam. That Vinayaka, Tam Vinayakam Aham Namami. Meaning that Vinayaka I namaskara. I do my namaskara. Namami means know me, with the subject of I. So Shiva is referred to as Ashutosha, somebody that gets very pleased very quickly. So in this context, Ganesha destroys the inauspicious, the Amangala, very immediately. So he clears the obstacles of his worshippers and he eliminates any dukkha that they may have. So this is a common theme that we see in most of the slokas. So we should not conclude that Ganesha only helps the devotees, but if someone worships Ganesha, there he will guide on the right path and the obstacles will be clear. So automatically, because of their following of the dharma, he blesses us so that the obstacles are not there and we can continue on the path of dharma. So that Vinayakam, Tam Vinayakam, Aham Namami is there. It's note that Nayaka means leader. Vinayaka with that V prefix, it can mean Vishesha Nayaka, that who is the Nayaka that is special, especially that has that Nayaka, which is Vinayaka. Even when we see in normal things, we see Bhunayaka as the Raja and things like that. But this is the special Nayaka. So with that Nayaka quality, so it is known as Vinayaka. Let's read the sloka one more time. Mudakarattamodakam sada vimukti sadhakam kaladharavatam sakam vilasiloka rakshakam anayakaikanayakam vinashite bhadaityakam nata shubhashunashakam namamitam vinayakam. So this concludes the first shloka. The second shloka starts off with Nate tarati bhikaram navoditarka bhasvaram namatsurari-nirjaram natadhika padudharam sureshwaran nidhishwaran gajeshwaran ganeshwaram maheshwaran tamashrage paratparan nirantaram. In the same way, we will look at these slokas as well. So nata itara abhitakaram nava udita arka bhasvaram is what the first phrase is. Nate tarati bhikaram navoditarka bhasvaram. So nata we saw in the first sloka immediately. It means to those who worship. Itara and those who do not. Ati bhikaram. So nata means those who worship. Itara means those who do not worship. Ati bhikaram. Ati means very. Bhikaram means very terrible. So to those who do not worship, he is very terrible. Nate tarate bhikaram navoditarka bhasvaram. And to those who worship, he is like the Nava Udita, the newly rising Arka. Arka meaning Surya. Bhasvaram, very bright and radiant. We see in Shruti, Asoyastamraha Arunaha, Utababhrus Sumangalaha. Like that, this Ganesha, how is he for those who worship? He is like Nava Udita Arka Bhasvaram. He is like the glowing of the newly rising sun. So this is very unique in that most poets will not say like this. But Adi Shankara is saying that Ganesha is very terrible to those who do not worship him, and he is shining like the morning sun. So we see in the morning only the Surya is the most attractive and most radiant. So that is why we are recommended to perform japa anushtana at that time. Next he says, Namat surari nirjaram natatika paduddharam. Namat, same as artha as nata. Surari, meaning asuras. Sura meaning devas. Asura meaning asura. Surari meaning, Ari means enemy. So Surari means the enemy of the suras, which are asuras. Nirjaram meaning completely destroyed. So Namat Surari Nirjaram. So he completely destroys the enemies of the devas who worship him. Nata Adika Apat Uddharam. And to those who worship, he lifts up from the Apat. Apat Uddharam. Apat meaning danger, trouble. Uddharam meaning he lifts up. So this Ganesha, he completely destroys the enemies of the devas who worship him, and he lifts up from the dangers of those who worship him. Again, these are all just Visheshanas or adjectives for Ganesha. Next, what he says is Sureshwaram, Nidhishwaram, Gajeshwaram, Ganeshwaram. So in this poetic thing, we see that rhyming, everything is ending with Shwaram. So when chanting, that poetry is also added there. So Sureshwaram, meaning Suranam Ishvaraha. As we saw earlier, Sura means Devas, the children of Aditi. So those are Suras. Suranam Ishvaraha, Sureshwaraha. Nidhinam Ishvaraha, Nidhishvaraha. Meaning the Lord of wealth, the Lord of reservoirs. Nidhi can mean both wealth and it can mean a reservoir as well. So Nidhi, like we see Kala Nidhi and those types of words. And Gajeshwaram, Gajanam Ishvaraha, the Ishvara of the elephants, and Ganeshwaram, Gananam Ishvara, the Ishvara of the Rudra Ganas. So Ishvara means one who controls, one is the Lord of everything. So he is the elephant-faced God who is the Lord of wealth, the Lord of Devatas, and the Lord of the Rudra Ganas. So he is the Nayaka of all these beings. Maheshwaram Samashtrage Paratparam Nirantaram. Maheshwara, it's usually referred to as Shiva, but here he is referring as Ganesha himself. Maheshwara means great Ishvara. There is no Ishvara above him. That is Maheshwara. Samashraye. Samashraye means Aham Samashraye. I take refuge. Samashraye is for emphasis. Ashraye means I refuse. I take refuge. I do namaskara. Parat Param meaning higher than the highest. We say Parat Parataram Chaiva Yat Paraf Parato Havihi Harihi in Mahanyas. So we say Parat Param, the higher than the highest. Nirantaram meaning Sada, continuously, forever. I Samashraye, I do Namaskar. So he is the great Ishvara and he is greater than the Supreme. Thus I take refuge in him continuously is what Shankara is saying. Maheshwaram Samashraye Parat Param Nirantaram. So the sloka went Nate tarati bhikaram naboditarka bhasvaram namatsura rinirjaram natatika paduddharam sureshwaran nidhishwaran gajeshwaran ganeshwaram maheshwaran tamashrage paratparan nirantaram. It's the second sloka. The third sloka is Samastaloka Shankaram Nirastya Daitya Kunjaram Daretaro Daram Varam Vare Bhavakramaksharam Kripakaram Kshamakaram Mudakaram Yashaskaram Manaskaran Namaskritan Namaskaromi Bhasvaram. It's the third sloka. First, what he says is Samastaloka Shankaram. Samastaloka. Samasta meaning the entire. Loka, the world. Shankaram. Sham karoti iti Shamkaraha. The one that grants Sham or auspiciousness, Mangalam, is Shamkara. Nirasta Daitya Kunjaram. Nirasta means destroyed. Daitya Kunjaram, meaning the Daitya mean Asura, Kunjaram also means elephant. So this Kunjara, Hasti, Dwipa, these are all synonyms for Gaja. So Daitya Kunjaram again it means Gaja Mukhasura. However, there we see one confusion. We already saw Gajamukha in the first sloka, Gajamukhasura in the first sloka. So there we'll get the Paunaruktya dosha, meaning already something that has been said once, he is saying again. So to do Nivarana or to secede from that, what we can do is we can take the first sloka as the elephant-like arrogance, and this one to be Sakshat Gajamukhasura, or we can take the first one to be Gajamukhasura and this one to be the arrogance that is coming in the elephant form. That way it won't be said twice. So Samasta Loka Shankaram, the one that gives Shankaram, Mangalam to the entire Loka, and the one that killed the Gajamukhasura. Nirasta meaning kill, Daitya Kunjaram meaning the Asura that is Gajamukhasura. Then what he says, Daretaro Dharam Varam Vare Bhavaktram Aksharam. Dara means small. Daretara means not small. Udaram meaning stomach. So he is saying that Ganesha has a very large stomach, Lambodaram, as we see very common. So he is saying Daretara, Dara meaning small, Itara meaning not. So not small, very large, Udaram. Varam, Varam means Shrestha. Ibha, Ibha means elephant, like we saw before. Vaktram, Gaja, Ibha Vaktram means Gajamukham. Aksharam, imperishable. Imperishable, Ksharam means perishing. Aksharam means Shashvata, always there. So he is saying Ganesha is Lambodara. He has a large belly and he is a impressive elephant face, and he is Akshara, meaning he is imperishable. So he is the only one that is immortal. We say in Ganapati Adharvashesham, Tvameva Sarvam Khalvidam Brahmasi. So this Ganeshwara is the Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. This Brahma, which is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, is been portrayed in Ganesha as the Saguna form. So meaning he has no end, and he has no, that is why he is Akshara. Next we see Kripakaram, Kshamaakaram, Mudakaram, Yashaskaram. Kripakaram means one that gives kripa. Kripam karoti iti kripakaraha. One that gives kshama. Kshama, kshamam karoti iti kshamakaraha. That one, kshama meaning forgiveness. So Ganesha has been seen as the one that gives kripa, kshama, muda, and yashas. Kripa meaning compassion, kshama meaning forgiveness, muda meaning happiness, and yashas meaning long-lasting fame. So we see the importance of everything. Kripa, kshama. We see Kirti Shrirvakchanari Smitan Medha Dhritihi Kshama in Bhagavad Gita as all of the good virtues. Mudakaram. Muda meaning happiness, one that gives happiness. Because the goal of human life is to get unlimited happiness. So whether it be limited happiness through things that we can sense through the Indriyas, or Sakshat, Brahma Sakshatkara, which gives full eternal happiness. And we see the importance of happiness in shlokas like Santushta Satatam Yogi Yatatma Dadanashya. Santushtaha Satatam. Then one that is always happy is a yogi. And like that we see Yashaskaram. In Vedas we have so many prarthanas for Yashas, meaning long-lasting fame. So these are all given by Ganeshwara himself. So Ganesha bestows his devotees with Kripa, Kshama, Muda, and Yashas. So the shloka was Samasta Loka Shankaran Nirasta Daitya Kunjaram Daretaro Dharam Varam Vare Bhavaktram Aksharam Kripakaram Kshamaakaram Mudakaram Yashaskaram Manaskritan Namaskritan Namaskaromi Bhasvaram. The next shloka is Akinchanarti Marjanam Chirantanokti Bhajanam Purari Purvanandanam Surari Garvacharvanam Prapanchanasha Bhishanam Dhananjagadi Bhushanam Kapolada Navaranam Bhaje Purana Varanam. The first one he says is Akinchanarti Marjanam Chirantanokti Bhajanam. Akinchana, Kinchana means one that has possessions. Akinchana means one that does not hold any possessions, which is a virtue for ones in Vedanta. The moment we have possessions, then the worries come to protect that, and that is goes away from the sadhana chatushtaya sampat. So akinchana means one who does not have any possessions. Arti marjanam. Marjanam means washing away. Arti meaning misery. So akinchana, arti marjana, chirantana ukti bhajanam. Chirantana means eternal. Ukti is meaning what he is saying. Bhajanam. And he is the vessel. Meaning Ganesha is the recipient of all our bhajana or all of our worship. So Ganesha wipes out the miseries of the people who do not have worldly possessions and who worship him. And Ganesha is the recipient of whatever worship we give to him. Ukti bhajanam. So when we do bhajana, that goes to Ganesha and he becomes the Ukti bhajan. So Akinchana is used frequently in Bhagavatam. So it says that Krishna makes his devotees Akinchana, meaning that they rely only on Krishna because they don't have any properties of their own. So this is full Sharanagati in that sampradaya. That's why we see Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Aham tva sarva papebhya mokshasyami ma shuchaha. So we say that Sarvadharman Parityajya, all dharmas you leave, and Mamekam Sharanam Raja. Just take Sharanam in me. So our Krishna said. The similar concept comes in Bhagavatam, and Adi Shankara is writing here for Ganesh. So whatever Saguna form, the main concept remains to be the same. Then what we the next one is Purari Purvanandanam Surari Garva Charvanam. Shiva is known as Tripurantakaya, we see. Tripurantakaya means the one that destroyed the 3 cities. Pura meaning city, and here the Tripura is not here, but Tripura has to be inferred. Pura Ari meaning the enemy of the cities. Purva Nandanam meaning Purva meaning the first. So the Shiva is referred as Purari because he destroyed the asuras that were occupying these 3 cities, this Tripura. So the Nandanam meaning the son of Purari Purva meaning Shiva. Surari Garva Charvanam. Surari, again this Ari, this enemy is suffixed. Surari meaning the asuras. Garva Charvanam. And he is the one that throws away the arrogance of the enemies of the Devas, which are the asuras. So the enemies of the Devas, Surari is asuras, and he is the one that throws away the arrogance of them. So he is referred to again as the son of Shiva, Purari Purva Nandana, and Surari Garva Charvan. Next we see Prapancha Bhishanam Dhananjayadi Bhushanam. Prapancha means universe. That name comes because it is made out of the Panchabhutas. Akashad Vayuhu Vayoragnihi Agnerapah Adbhyaf Prithivi. So we see the Panchabhutas. So this Prapancha meaning anything that is made out of the Panchabhutas. Here by context, Prapancha means universe. So Prapancha Nasha Bhishanam. So we know that Rudra assumes a very terrible Bhishana form during Pralaya. So the same attributes of the father are also given to Ganesha here. Prapancha Nasha Bhishanam. Bhishanam means Bhayankara. So it can be understood that Ganesha assumes a terrible form when destroying the universe. And Dhananjayadi Bhushanam, meaning he is a Bhushana, he is an ornament for people that have him as in the side, like have him on their side, like Dhananjaya. Dhananjaya is referring to Arjuna. So like Partha, Dhananjaya is also a name of Arjuna. So they are saying that Dhananjaya Arjuna used Ganapati as also as ornament. So Dhananjayadi Bhushanam. meaning Arjunadi people like Arjuna had used Ganapati, and that Ganapati I'm doing namaskara to. Next he says, Kapola Dana Varanam Bhaje Purana Varanam. Kapola Dana means, Kapola means ja, and Dana means the water that comes out of the face, that Madajala that comes out of that face of an elephant. Varanam, again, Varanam again means Gaja. Bhaje Purana, Purana Varanam. So this Sada, for this, we see in elephants that during sometimes they get that Madajala from their face. So for Ganeshwara, it is always coming like that. And to that Purana, meaning very ancient, Varanam, elephant, I am bhaje, I am worshipping, I am meditating upon that. So this Madajala gives the compassion in in this format. So when physically we are seeing it in elephants, but for Ganeshwara it is always there, and that is also a form of anugrah. So the shloka was Akinchanartimarjanam Chirantanokti Bhajanam Purari Purvanandanam Surari Garbacharvanam Prapanchanaasha Bhishanam Dhananjayadi Bhushanam Kapoladana Bhaje Purana Varanam. The fifth shloka is Nitantakanti Dantakanti Mantakanti Katmajam Achintya Rupamantahina Mantaraya Krintanam Radantare Nirantaram Vasantameva Yoginam Tamekadantame Patam Vichintayami Santatam. The first stanza is Nitantakanta Dantakanti Mantakanta Katmajam. So Nitanta means special. Kanta meaning the special glow, the special brightness of the danta, meaning the tusk. Normally danta means tooth, but for elephants the danta is the tusk of the elephant. Kantim again is the brightness. Antaka atmajam, antakantaka atmajam, meaning antakantaka. Antaka is referring to Yama. Antaka means one that destroys or brings to an end. Antakanta refers to Shiva, because the only person that can destroy even Antaka is Shiva. We see in Markandeya Katha that with the blessings of Shiva, even Yama was not able to use his power. So Antakantaka meaning the Antakasya Antaka, meaning the destroyer of the destroyer. So Antaka Yama, Antakasya Antakaha Shiva. So Antakantaka Shiva, Atmajam. Again, Atmajam means son, Putra. So it is saying that Ganesha gives a special glow which is increased due to the tusk that he has. And he is the son of Shiva who can bring an end to even Yama. So we see that Atma Vai Putra Namasi in Smriti. So it means that he is taking the qualities of whatever Shiva has, and he is also, and that same qualities as what Shiva has. So Antam Karoti iti Antaka. So that is what is used for Yama. And Antakantaka means the one who can give an end for even Yama, which is Shiva. And his child, meaning his Atmajam, meaning Ganesha. Next, Achintya Rupa Mantahina Mantaraya Krintanam. Achintya. Chintya means one that can be thought, one that can be deciphered. Achintya meaning beyond thought. Rupam. Achintya Rupam meaning his form is beyond thought. Antahinam, devoid of an end. Antaraya meaning without any obstacles. Krintanam, removal, meaning Bhagavan, which is Ganesha, is beyond the scope of human thought. We cannot picture him, that Rupa. And he does not have an end or middle. And he cuts off all the obstacles, which is why he is known as Vignanayaka. In Upanishad also we say yato vacho nivartante aprapya manasa saha. So the Bhagavan is beyond the scope of the mind. So this is much more easier thought of than said, but it cannot be said. Even though it is thought, it cannot be pictured or depicted or thought of. Next we see Hridantare Nirantaram Vasantameva Yogina. Hridantare meaning inside the heart. Hrit meaning heart, Antare meaning inside. Nirantaram, as we saw before, is permanent, Sada. Vasantam meaning living. Yaha Vasati, who is always living inside the heart of Yogina Meva, in the heart of the yogis. So he is Shankara is referring to Ganesha as the one that lives in the heart of the yogina meva, of the yogis, and only them. So we see that the yogis have ekagra chintana, and when for them their only thought is this Ishvara chintana. So for them he is living in their hearts eternally. Tam ekadantam ekameva chintayami santatam. Tam ekadantam, that one which has one tusk. Aham chintayami satatam. Tamev chintayami aham satatam. Meaning, he is the only one that I think of always. Chintayami, meaning I am thinking. Satatam, santatam, meaning always. So again, he is saying that he is meditating upon Ganesh. The sloka was Nitanta Kanti Danta Kanti Banta Kanti Katmajam Achintya Rupa Mantahina Mantaraya Krintanam Hridantare Nirantaram Vasantameva Yoginam Tameka Dantameva Tam Vichintayami Santatam. And the next sloka is the Phalashruti. Mahaganesha Pancharatnamadarena Gyonvaham Prajalpati Prabhatake Hridismaran Ganeshwaram Arogatam Adoshatam Susahitim Suputratam Samahitayu Rashtabhutim Abhyapaiti Sochirat. So all Grantha has this Phalashruti at the end. So these 5 shlokas were the Pancharatnas, we can call it, each shloka being a Ratna, and the 6th shloka is the conclusion or the Phalashruti. So Phala meaning the fruit. What is the result of chanting this Pancharatna is given in the last shloka. Mahaganesha Pancharatnam Adarena Yaha Anvaham. Mahaganesha Pancharatnam, this shloka, Adarena, meaning with great respect, with bhakti, with shraddha. Yaha, who, Anvaham. Anvaham means pratyaham, meaning daily, chants. Prajalpati Prabhatake Hridismaran Ganeshwaram. Prajalpati means one who chants very carefully, with attention, thinking of this only. Prabhatake, meaning early in the morning. Hridismaran Ganeshwaram. Hridismaran, meaning while thinking in their heart of Ganeshwaram, of Ganeshwara. Arogatam, Adoshatam, Susahitim, Suputratam. For them, they will have Arogatam, meaning freedom from disease, meaning Arogya. Adoshatam. Doshata means without dosha. We can take in the context here that they'll be without dosha in the manas. So without this ahankara, kama, krodha, moha, that like that, adoshatam. Susahitim, with a good spouse, and suputratam, with good children. We see in Niti Shataka that so many things become spoiled because of one thing. So in one of them it says kutanayat kulaha, kulaha kutanayat, meaning through a bad children the kula is spoiled. So for that we need good children. That's why in Vedas itself we see prajaya himanushya purnaha. So by prajaya, may the children only does a manushya get purnatvam or fulfillment or completeness. So for that we is also praying for that. So with only if we have these things, can we have will we have time for other Vedanta Chintana and things like that? If these itself is not there, then the mind will only be focused on that, and there won't be any time to focus on other things, on Adhyatmika Vishya. So for those, they are asking for these things. And this is the phala of that. So arogatam, meaning freedom from diseases. Adoshatam, meaning free from dosha. especially in the manas, susahitim, with a good spouse, and suputratam, with good children. Next, samahita ayuhu ashtabhutim abhyupeti saha achirat. Samahita, meaning samahita ayuhu. Samahita ayuhu means well established. Purna ayuhu. Ashtabhutim. Ashtabhutim means Ashtalakshmi. Bhuti here means Lakshmi. Abhyupayati means he attains in full. Saha achirat. Achirat means immediately. Ashu, in that kshana itself, he achieves all these things. So what is Shankara saying here? Well established long life, free from disease of the body and mind, and direction towards dharmic activities, and the 8 forms of Lakshmi are bestowed by Ganapati immediately. That's why we see that Lakshmi and Ganapati are always sometimes said together. We see Lakshmi Ganapati Homa, Lakshmi Ganapati Mantra. So here also that Sambandha is again brought up. So here Shankaracharya concludes with the Phalashruti. महागणेश पंचरत्नमादरेण योन्वहं प्रजल्पति प्रभातके हृदि स्मरन् गणेश्वरम् अरोगतामदोषतां सुसाहितीं सुपुत्रतां समाहितायुरष्टभूतिमभ्यवैति सोचिरात्. स्वस्ति श्री शंकर भगवत्पादाचार्य विरचित श्री गणेश्वर पंचरत्न स्तोत्रम संपूर्णम्. So this concludes the Pancharatna and the Phalashruti. So, shall we move on to the first shloka of Sadhana Panchakam and conclude? Okay. So, I will introduce Sadhana Panchakam today with the first shloka. So, some key points that we should know is the Sadhyam, the Sadhanam, and the Sadhakam. So, in Vedanta, the Sadhyam is moksha. The Sadhana means the means of moksha, and the Sadhaka is the one that is doing that sadhana, the one that is trying for moksha in this janma. So this sadhana panchakam has many names like Sopana Panchakam, Advaita Panchakam, Upadesha Panchakam, Sadhana Panchakam. Sopana Panchakam is a very popular name. Sopanam meaning like a flight of stairs. So we have the 4 ashramas, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. So in these ashramas, the shlokas go in a way that each shloka attributes to one ashrama. In the beginning, we see the Brahmacharya ashrama, then Grihastha ashrama, Vanaprastha ashrama, then Sannyasa ashrama. So how we can use those for our lives in those different ashramas. So in that way, it's called Sopana Panchika because it's like a flight of stairs and it gives us steps. Each step, the first step, the second step, the third step, the fourth step, like that. It's also called Advaita Panchaka because the Advaita Tattva is being discussed here, and Sadhana Panchakam because it is giving the sadhana, Upadesha Panchakam because it is giving the series of instructions, the series of Upadeshas to the sadhaka. So this is how the name is derived. So first, the sadhana is first discovering why we got the human janma and what is the goal of the janma and attaining that goal. So as we saw earlier, the ashrama scheme and the varna scheme. So the varna is split into 4, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, and the ashrama is also split into 4, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. So we see in Gita, Chaturvarnyam maya srishtam gunakarma vibhakashah tasya karta namabhimam vidhyakarta namabhim. So these varnas are split by the guna and karma of that person. So we will see how each varna and ashrama have their separate dharmas. Irrespective of varna and ashrama, there are certain samanya dharmas that we should know. These can be classified as yama and niyama. Yama meaning the 5 disciplines, and niyama meaning the 5 restrictions that we keep. So the samanya niyamas. So these are not related to varna and ashrama. This is for every human being. They must follow these certain samanya niyamas for everyone, which are ahimsa, satyam, asteyam, aparigraham, brahmacharyam. So ahimsa meaning avoidance of harm to any being, satyam meaning saying the truth, asteyam meaning not stealing, aparigraham meaning not taking gifts or not accumulating too much wealth, brahmacharyam meaning keeping brahmacharya. Shuchau, and then we see the niyamas, which are Shaucham, Santosha, Tapaha, Swadhyaya, and Ishvara Pranidhanam. So, Shaucham meaning internally and externally purity. Santosha means happiness, contentment. Tapas meaning we see so many tapas in Bhagavad Gita, like Vanmayam Tapa Uchyate, Manas, the tapas of the Manas, the tapas of the Vak, the tapas of the Shariram. So these are all willful denial of what we can sense through organs. That is called tapas. Swadhyaya means study of the scriptures, the Vedas, and the Itihasa Puranas also can be included. And Ishvara Pranidhanam, meaning the worship of Ishvara. So these 5 niyamas and 5 yamas are samanya to everyone. So these are not discussed in this text because this is focusing on varna and ashrama dharmas. So these samanya niyamas are discussed elsewhere, but we should already know this before going on to the text. So we see that in brahmacharya ashrama, the main goal is to do study of the Vedas. So we say that the brahmachari has to be antevasi, go live with the guru, do bhiksha charana, give that bhiksha to the guru and eat what is left over, and do study of his svashaka along with the Vedangas and Upangas. Sangopanga Vedadhyan is what is prescribed for brahmachari. So he has to be antevasi, one that lives with the guru, and study there and finish this. In the grahastha ashrama, the brahmachari does not have any eligibility to do any karma. In the grahastha ashrama, he takes that learning, that theoretical knowledge, and does it practically through the various yajnas, which we see in the karma kanda portion. So if you look at Yajurveda, for example, we can split it broadly into 2, which is karma kanda and jnana kanda. So karma kanda meaning the entire Samhita, Brahmana, and the first 6 chapters of the Aranyaka all belong to karma kanda, meaning different yagas, different chainas, things like that. The Jnana Kanda is the last 4 Upanishads, or the last section of the Aranyaka. But we need to do this karma for Chitta Shuddhi. If you look at Purva Mimamsa Shastra, they say Agnihotram Juhyat Swarga Gamaha. So for them, the one that does Agnihotra, is they get Swarga. So for them, there is no concept of moksha in Purva Mimamsa. For them, Swarga is moksha. Moksha and Swarga are not different. But for Vedantis, Swarga is not Shashvata. In Gita, we say, Tetam Bhuktva Swargalokam Vishalam Kshine Punye Martyalokam Vishanti. Evam Tri Dharma Manuprapanya Gatagatam Kama Kama Labhante. So, when the Punya Papa, that results is done, we'll go from Swarga back to this Ihaloka, or we'll, based on that, we'll go back to the next loka. So, Swarga is not Shashvata. Kshine Punya Martyalokam Vishanti. After the phala of the Punya is done, he will go back from Swargaloka back to the Martyaloka, which is the Bhumi. So for us, this karma is a means to get Chitta Shuddhi, and it gives the person freedom from this Raga Dvesha, meaning the likes and dislikes. The third ashrama is Vanaprastha ashrama, where gradually he is getting retiring from the main dharmas of a grahastha and more into upasana, the upasana kanda of the Vedas, and withdrawing from most physical activity and getting the chitta ekagrata. And the final stage is sannyasa ashrama, where he completely renounces and becomes free from all the dependencies of the loka. So just because one gets the ashrama does not mean that he is a sannyasi, but he has to be practicing the jnana yoga. We say Sarvasankalpa Sannyasi Yoga Rudhastadochyate. It is possible to be a sannyasi in Vedantic terms without being in the sannyasa ashrama itself. A brahmachari can be a sannyasi, a grahastha can be a sannyasi. It is depending from if you're doing karma versus we are doing it as a karma yoga. So once that aham, that bhavana goes away, then we just become a nimitta matram bhava savyasachin is what we see. We just become a nimittam, or the instrument. Once that is there, then we can do that tapas which I mentioned before, the tapas of the manas, the tapas of the vak, the tapas of the sharira. We see so many things. Gita, we see brahmacharya, ahimsa cha shariram tapa uchyate. This brahmacharya, this ahimsa, these are all called the tapas of the sharira. Shariram tapa uchyate. Like that. So the text starts off with Vedo nityam adhiyatam taduditam karmas manushtiyatam. So this Vedo nityam adhiyatam, it talks about the brahmacharya ashrama. As I mentioned, Vedo nityam adhiyatam. The Vedas should be studied every day, nityam. In Veda itself, we see the vidhi or the instruction to do that. We see tasmaat swadhyayo dhyetavyah. Tasmat swadhyah adhyetavyah. Yam yam kratumadhite tena tena asya ishtam bhavati is what Veda says. So tasmat swadhyayah adhyetavyah. By swadhyaya, this swa upasarga means paramparagata. Adhyaya means Veda. So whatever shaka that are father, grandfather, great grandfather, they did adhyana. So if it's Rig Veda, Krishna Yajurveda, Shukla Yajurveda, that swadhyaya, that Veda, that swashaka, adhyetavyaha, must be studied. Is what the Vedas say. Even in other places, we see what happens if we leave Veda and we study something else. For those who are eligible to study Veda, we see yes tityaja sakhi vedagum sakhayam natasya vachapi bhago asti yadi gum shuno telakagum shunoti nahi praveda sukritasya panthamiti. So who that tyaja sakhi vidam, whoever that leaves the Vedas, that is supposed to learn Veda, and they go and listen to something else, yadim shunoti alakam shunoti, that becomes like waste. That is equivalent to trash, is what the Vedas itself say. Nahi praveda sukritasya pantha. So for who has to do adhyana of Vedas, without learning Veda, if they go learn something else, that becomes of no use. We see swadharme nidhanam shreyah paradharmo bhayavaha. Again, so the swadharma, the dharma that is based off varna and ashrama, that will give us shreyas. Paradharmo bhayavaha. So if we look at others' dharma, even though they may be they having more money or they may be better, if that is not our swadharma and that is paradharma, we should be afraid of that. Paradharmo bhayavaha. But our swadharma, even if it's wrong, sahajam karma kaunteya satosham. So karma is okay, and even if it has doshas, that karma that we do, which is our swadharma, is better than the paradharma, meaning the dharma of others. So first he says Vedo nityam adhiyadam. That is how it starts. That is for brahmacharya ashrama. The next is taduditam karmas manushtiyatam. This is for grahasthas. So in brahmacharya ashrama, after learning the Vedas, he can do karma in the grahastha ashrama. Tad uditam karmas manushtiyatam. Enjoined in the Vedas, what karmas are there, he can do. So the karmas can be split into three, which is nishkama karma, sakama karma, and nishiddha karma. Nishkama karma meaning ones that are compulsory, the nitya karma, like sandhyandana, these karma. Sakama karma, like we see the Dasarata did putra kameshti. So this is for a certain thing. For this dharmic activity, I am doing this for this sankalpa, so I can get this phala. These are sakama karmas. And nishiddha karmas. Nishiddha karmas are things that should not be done, like ratri shraddha, mamsa bhakshana. These are nishiddha karma. So these are things. So these are the three ways that we can split the karma: nishiddha, sakama, and nishkama. So the nishkama karmas are split into 5, which are deva yajnaha, pitra yajnaha, brahma yajnaha, bhuta yajnaha, manushya yajnaha. We see. So deva yajna means the worship of the Ishvara through Sandhya Vandanadi karmas, Agnihotradi karma. Pitra yajna meaning the worship of the forefathers. Brahma yajna meaning the learning of the Vedas and the recitation of the Vedas daily, and also the satisfaction to the rishis. Manushya yajna meaning giving food to other manushyas, and bhuta yajna meaning giving food to all the other bhutas, creatures, in whatever animals we see. In Veda itself, this is prescribed. We see Panchava ete mahayajna satati pratagante satati santishtante deva yajna pitra yajno bhuta yajno manushya yajno brahma yajna iti. So there in Vedas itself, these 5 yajnas are prescribed for us. For example, one for the Brahma yajna, what it says is ekamaprichanya jassama tad brahma yajna santisthate. Ekamapi, even one Rik, Yajus, Samava, of Rig Veda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, one mantra, saying this every day is called Brahma Yajna. For Manushya Yajna, what do we see? Yad Brahmanebhyo Nandadati Tad Manushya Yajna Santishthate. Giving anna to the Brahmanas. This is called Manushya Yajna. And for each of them, we have different words. For Deva Yajnas, we say Swaha. We see in all the homas, we see Swaha for them. For Pitra Yajnas, we say Swadha. For Bhuta Yajna, we say Namaha. And for Manushya Yajna, we say Hanta. So this Swaha, Swadha, Namaha, Hanta, these are used for each of the different yajnas. Next we see Tena Ishasya Apachitihi Vidhiyatam. And then by this Swadharma practice, Ishasya Apachitihi Vidhiyatam. Apachitihi means puja. Puja Vidhiyatam. Meaning Swadharma Anushtanena. Through the Swadharma Anushta, may you offer worship to Ishvara. Ishasya Apachitihi. So all of these are all commands. Nityam Adhiyatam, Swanushthiyatam. All these words, they are saying you must do like this. May this be studied by you. Vedaha Nityam Adhiyatam. May you study the Vedas daily. Tena Ishasya Apachitihi Vidhiyatam. May you worship Ishvara daily. So again, like this. Kame Matistyajyatam. May you give up. Kame Matihi. Meaning actions that are meant for kamya karmas, material wealth. So one that should be satisfied with what it helps. So kamya karma means the sakama karma, which we discussed before. May you give that up. Matis tyajyatam. That kind of intellect, may you leave. Tyajyatam. Leave. Papo gheif paridhuyatam is the next one. Meaning strive against the raga dvesha. Ogaha means multiples of. Papa means raga dvesha. So we see that the raga dvesha, they lead to many doshas. We see in Gita itself, Kurmon Gani Vasarvashaha Indriyani Indriyatebhyas Tasya Prajna Pradishtita. So like how the turtle, it brings the arms and legs into the shell, like that a Manushya should be when he sees all these in Vishesh these objects that give that are sensed by the organs. So like that, this raga dvesha means the likes and dislikes. Because when we don't get something that we like, that will lead to even more anger. Smriti Brahmshat Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashyati is what Gita is. So for that, he's saying Paridhuyatam. So don't get indulged in the raga dvesha. Bhava Sukhe Dosho Nusandhiyatam. May you see the defects of worldly accomplishment. Meaning, there are three defects or doshas in the worldly pleasures, which is dukkha mishritam, atrupti karatatvam, and bhandakatvam. So all of these accomplishments that we have, they're all dukkha mishritam, meaning they're all combined with dukkha, and they're atrupti karatvam, meaning they don't give full tripti. Tripti means that is only temporary. And bandhakatvam, they make one slave of the bandhas. So that becomes a bandha and it contains them. So he is also saying to leave from that. Atmecha vyavasiyatam. May you cultivate strong desire for Atma or Atma Jnana. So that means that one should turn away from Anityam and go to Nityam and have that Viveka Buddhi. Viveka Buddhi means discriminating what is Atma and what is Anatma. And one needs to have Vairagyam, meaning avoidance of Raga Dvesha, and Mumukshutvam, meaning the Ichha, Atma Ichha, meaning the desire to know what the Atma actually is. We see Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma in Upanishad. So the understand that is called Mumukshutvam. Then he says, Nigrahat Turnam Vinirgamyatam. Nigrahat means from one's home, Turnam, meaning Ashu, immediately, may you get out. May you get out of attachment to your home as soon as possible. Meaning the third ashrama, which is for Vanaprastha. So before we saw the Brahmacharya ashrama and Grihastha ashrama. The Vanaprastha ashrama, meaning somebody at those times they go to some further place, like the forest or something, and they leave the house. So this goes to the vanaprastha or retirement stage of the elderly. So this concludes the first sloka of Sadhana Panchakam. So I will chant this sloka and we can conclude. Vedo nityamadhiyatam taduditam karmasvanushtiyatam teneshasya vidhiyatam apachitih kame matistyajatam पापोघैः परिधूयतां भवसुखे दोषोऽनुसन्धीयताम् आत्मेच्छा व्यवसीयतां निग्रहात् तूर्णं विनिर्गम्यताम्. हरिः ओम्.
Thank you so much, Pranav. Dr. Jamunathan, if you are still there, if you want
Yes,
to...
yes. No, I was very nice. We were discussing a sloka last week, and I think Manu kept Pranav in mind when he wrote that sloka. It says, Vishadabi Amrudam, Baladabi Subhashitam, Amitradabi Sadvrittam, Amedyapi Kanchanam. This is a very famous sloka in Manusmriti, which says that, you can get good medicine or nectar even from poison. You can learn good things even from small kids. You can learn good conduct from your enemy, and you also can get gold from very impure things. So Manusmriti people like Pranav, who are much younger than us, to educate us, I think that was what Manu in his foresight said, Baladabi Subhashitam. Learn good things even if people are younger than you. Very nice. So that is one thing. And then the second part is, Bhaktan Kambinam Devam Jagat Karanam Achyudam. I think he covered it very well in the Ganesh Adarashisham. It says Lord Ganesha is very graceful and very compassionate to his devotees and the cause of the universe, and also the Aksharam and the Achyudam, the infallible one. And very nicely you covered all of that in your Ganesha Pancharatnam, enlightening us about the different aspects of Lord Ganesha and his grace to the devotees. And the third thing which I liked very much in the Shobhana Pancham is you liked, I used to teach a mnemonic which you covered very well. All the attachments to the world is bad, B-A-D. B for Bandhagatvam, A for Atripti Karatvam, D for Dukkha Mishritvam. So you covered the bad also. So wonderful, right from beginning to end. We are very blessed to hear Pranav Ganapati. Namaste to you. And thank you for all joining this program. Somaji, please, if you have any more words, and if Srini also has anything to say, please go ahead.
No, thank you. It's very well summarized, Dr. Jambunathan. I think just a little bit of housekeeping here. The next process is we will send you an email address. We think we'll see it in the final slides here. And then I know some of you may have some questions. If Pranav is available right after that slideshow is done, we will open up so that you can ask questions. Currently, I think you are muted. And then once that is done, you can open up and have a few minutes of questions. Right now, I think that's we'll just finish off with the Mangalam. I don't know, Srini, you have anything to add? Otherwise, go ahead with the Mangalam.
No, I'm good. We'll go with the Mangalam. Thank you.
मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वर के शक्ति गणपति शारदाम्बिके शंकराचार्यर के शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदाम्बिके के काल भैरवर के काली दुर्गै के वीर धीर शूर हनुम मारुति चरणतिके मल्लिकार्जुनर के செல்வ ஜனார்தனர் கே அம்பா பவானி கம்பத கணபதி சண்டி சாமுண்டி கே ஸ்ரீ கிருஷ்ண பகவான் கே ஸ்ரீ சக்கரவாசினி கே சீதாராம லக்ஷ்மண சகித மாருதி சரணத்திற்கே வித்யாரண்யர் கே विद्याशंकर के वागीश्वरी के वज्रदेग गरुड़ आंजनेयर के श्रीवल्ली देव सेना समेत सुब्रमण्यर के तुंगभद्रै के श्रृंगनिवासिनी के श्रृंगेरी पुरिயில் நிலைத்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகை के सच्चिदानंद शिव अभिनव नृसिंह भारती के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु सार्वभौमर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विद्यातीर्थर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु भारती तीर्थर के श्री चंद्रशेखर भारती गुरु विदुशेखर भारती के मंगलम गुरु श्री चंद्रमौलीश्वर के शक्ति गणपति शारदाम्बिक शंकराचार्यर के शक्ति गणपति महागणपति शारदाம்பிகை के சிங்கேரி புரியில் நிறைந்திருக்கும் எங்கள் சாரதாம்பிகைக்கே